The PS5 will present a paradigm shift as to what players will come to expect from gaming.
So the PS5 reveal has come, gone. I wanted to just digest and assess other people's feelings, and been watching a lot of clips on YouTube and reading a lot of other people's posts and scrolling through Facebook, trying to get a grip on what other people are feeling about this reveal, get their expressions out before making my own. And quite surprisingly, I've had a few people ask me to make a video about this, which is what we're going to do. But before we get into all that, guys, if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. So we've got viewpoints on both sides. The Sony guys are saying it's the best thing they've ever seen. We've got the Xbox guys refuting those claims and saying it's nothing really that special. So I'm going to give a real balanced in the middle. Let's have some common sense view on this, shall we, people? But I'm really glad that Sony waited a week before they announced this, because it's awesome that they've managed to find a cure for racism in a week. So let's start off with the basics. Sony revealed 26 games, all coming to PS5. Now, 16 of those 26 games are also coming to the Xbox Series X, which means we've got 10 exclusive games, 10 Sony PlayStation 5 only games, which, when you think about it, is not a huge amount shown off, not a huge amount of exclusivity. And from reading comments and looking at people's views online, that seems to be the main sticking point. People thinking that the Xbox doesn't have a massive first-party lineup, a lineup of games that are only coming to the Xbox console, which is rubbish. Plus, Microsoft have yet to really reveal what is coming to the Xbox Series X. We've had a few bits and pieces like Halo Infinite and things like that, but there's still a lot more to come from both companies, to be fair. Microsoft have spent a huge amount of money purchasing developers and really investing in first-party games. So I don't really think that is fair anymore. And come July, when Xbox have their similar event, we'll see a lot more then, and I think then we can actually make a balanced judgment on that, to be honest. So what we did see, the conference started off with a montage of PS4 games, which is strange considering the PS4 Pro games library looks really good and not too far graphically away from what we're getting now. And if the main difference that you're trying to promote is visually, then why are you showing something that looks very similar to what you're trying to show off? We then went into Rockstar, who are releasing Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS5, Xbox Series X. Great, but let's not forget this game is now 3 console generations old. Originally it came out on the Xbox 360, which is insane. So Rockstar are really milking this for all they can. And to be fair, when it does get released on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, it will sell bucket loads. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to keep re-releasing the same game and charging £30-40 over and over again. To be honest, it takes the mick. From there we went into Spider-Man, which everyone thought from the trailer, including myself, that was a sequel to the awesome Amazing Spider-Man. It's not. It's a standalone expansion pack, which has now been confirmed. Whether that means we're going to get a re-released, enhanced version of the Amazing Spider-Man on the PS5, I don't know, didn't say. But it's not what everyone was expecting. It's not a game built from the ground up using PS5 hardware. It's going to be an enhanced expansion. It's going to be released before the end of the year, probably as a launch title. We had some truly stunning looking games revealed. Gran Turismo from the trailer looked awesome, as did Hitman. But then they decided to show gameplay. And in the case of Gran Turismo, the gameplay did not look that much more impressive than its PS4 counterpart. To be honest, I couldn't tell the difference. Now, at several points during this conference, Sony remarked that with the power of the PS5, will be changing the industry. It will be a massive shift in the industry, and I don't think it really is. Microsoft tried to temper people's expectations a few weeks ago by saying that the step up in graphical fidelity between the Xbox Series X in their case and the Xbox One X is not going to be monumental. Both companies are guilty of saying that this console generation will mark a massive shift in the way that games are enjoyed, and I don't think it really will. In the case of Microsoft, they are trying to do different things with xCloud and the Game Pass, which is awesome. But the only company that really is doing something different is Nintendo. I went back and looked at the PS4 conference, which was very similar to the PS5 conference. It started off with a montage of PS3 games and then went into the new stuff and how this generation will be a complete paradigm shift. But it's not. It's the same thing. It just looks better, loads better, loads faster. The way you enjoy games will still be the same. The way that you play the console will still be the same. You plug it into your PC, you sit on your couch with the joypad, and away you go. It's just going to look better. It's just going to... And in the case of Sony, they've finally caught up with some of the features that the Xbox has had since the Xbox One X was released, with haptic feedback on the controllers and things like that. So what I'm saying is, the games look incredible. Some of the games look awesome. Resident Evil especially, I'm a massive Resident Evil fan. I cannot wait for Resident Evil 8. It's got some real Resident Evil 4 vibes, and I'll probably do a separate video about that. Some of the other PlayStation exclusive games, again, looked awesome. But it's going to play much like the things you've already got, the things that we've already experienced. So when companies like Sony and Microsoft say that there's a massive shift, it's going to change the way that people enjoy games, it's going to change people's experiences of games. It's really not. It's going to be the same thing, just looking a lot better. So in summary, what we saw looks awesome. It's going to be the same for the Xbox Series X. But when these companies say that you'll be experiencing games in ways you've never seen before, it's bullshit. It was also strange not to see anything about the PSVR. There was no update as to whether there'd be a new version of that or whether the current version would work with this hardware. I don't know whether the PSVR is going down the Kinect route, whether it's just going to be quietly phased out. I know it's struggled to sell, but I think Sony, a bigger problem for me with Sony is that they seem to be stuck in this holding pattern with the PlayStation. They know what works, they've got their formula, they're sticking with it. They've tried in the past to do other things. We've got the PSP, the PS Vita, the PSVR. None have been hugely successful, with the exception of maybe the PSP. So Sony are kind of sticking to what they know, which is fine. My issue is when they say that it's going to be industry changing. It's not. It's the same thing over and over again. It just looks better, loads faster. It's not about graphical hardware anymore. It's really not. If you want unique experiences, if you want something different, you need to go to the Nintendo Switch. You need to stay away from these two consoles. If you want true graphical excellence, you need to go to the PC, because the PC, high-end gaming PCs are already far beyond the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Now, I apologize if this sounds really negative. I don't mean it to be. I'm really excited for the next generation. I'm really interested to see what they can do. And I think maybe we all just need to sit back, relax, and maybe just wait and see what we get. It's too early to make any judgments, too early to make any real assessments. Let's wait and see until both consoles are released, got the launch games, and we see how much they cost. Sony and Microsoft seem to be in this game of chicken as to who is going to release the price first of their console. Guys, it's getting quite late in the day now. We're kind of 4 or 5 months away from release, and we still don't know how much these consoles are going to cost. One of you's got to blink, so just do it. Just get on with it. Let us know how much it's going to cost. Looking at some other comments online, I've seen people saying that they will wait. They're not going to buy a console at release or shortly after release. They're going to wait until the enhanced version, the PS5 Pro, the Xbox Series XX gets released. They're going to wait for the mid-generation upgrades, which is fair enough. People will wait and see what comes of a mid-generation upgrade. Now, let's get on to the looks of the PS5. Initially, I thought, damn, that's quite a striking console. And then the more I looked at it, the more, I don't know, it just doesn't look kind of right, and it looks like dust is going to get into those crevices at the top, and yeah, the bulkiness, the disk drive that has been slapped onto the side of it, it just doesn't look that appealing. And I know some people have said that the One X is very bland, very sterile, but it's functional, and it looks kind of like a small gaming PC, which is what Microsoft are going for. Whereas the PS5 seems to be, I don't know, I was going to say a triumph of style over substance, but it's definitely not. The all-digital one definitely looks a lot better, cleaner, sleeker, kind of like in the same vein as the Xbox 360. It looks very similar to a 360. And then I saw the photo you're looking at now of how big this console actually is. It is gargantuan. It dwarfs the Series X. It dwarfs everything that has come before it. And that just totally put me off. I was on the fence initially, and when I saw how big it was, or how big it will be, nah, it's too big. It's too big. And with the protruding bump of a disc drive on the side, if you lay that console horizontally, you need a stand to support because of the odd shape. That just looks even worse. I think Sony really have dropped the ball on this one when it comes to design. Thoughts online, reading some of the comments in some of the different forums, generally mixed, veering more on the negative side, to be honest. With Sony fanboys, instead of having a supporting argument for the design of the console, just trying to focus on how bland the Xbox Series X looks. So that you're not really defending your console, you're trying to shift the attention to something else, which is a sign that you're not really that too keen on it yourselves. So, striking. So remember guys, this is just my opinion. If you disagree, if you have your own thoughts, please leave in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Regardless of this, regardless of what's said today guys, really exciting times. We've got 2 brand new consoles coming. It's hard not to be excited. But remember, at the end of the day, whether you like Xbox, whether you like PlayStation, whether you like Nintendo, we're all gamers, and we should all love, care and respect for each other. All that good stuff. So, if you like what you see guys, please like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and I will catch you next time.